The good news is for the Browns, at least with Jack Conklin and that offensive line, they got nothing better to go up against in practice. I mean, you are going up against iron sharpens iron. Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, them guys in the middle there, dominant defensive line. And we saw what the Browns did last season defensively. Jim Schwartz coming in, what a change. I mean, this defense went from, man, we got some problems to we are the problem. And when you look at this defense, G, the only weak link that I see, because you look at the secondary stacked. You look at the defensive line is stacked, and we added even more. The linebacker position fascinates me. I think a lot of people this offseason expected the Browns to maybe add more. Now, we did do the most important checklist of the offseason. That's extending JOK. We had to keep JOK around. But, G, you look at who we brought in. Devin Bush, Jordan Hicks, Nathaniel Watson in the draft. Mohamed Diabate makes the 53-man roster this year. How do you feel about this linebacker position? Do you view it as a big liability? Do you think it's going to be more than enough as far as what we're going to ask them to do? How do you view the linebacker position for the Browns?
Well, listen, I think Devin Bush and Diabate will be guys that you can put in situations in your base package. And, you know, the Browns are going to play a bunch of nickel. They usually play nickel. Nickel's almost their base formation. But on heavy rundowns, you'll see Devin Bush. And I think he can do okay in that position. I think he'll bring that run stopping abilities. He's very athletic and get after, bring that thump to the party, so to speak. I think Jordan Hicks, he's the guy that he looks like. They've had this before. You take a look at Anthony Walker. You take a look, at that middle linebacker position. Guys that are going to line people up. I call it the men's warehouse position. You know what I'm saying? They want guys that look like they do commercials for the men's warehouse. They real button up. They don't play no games, and just good overall team leaders. I think when you look at JOK, this year is going to be a breakout year for him. When you talk about what he's being able to do, 100+ tackles, 20 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks. He was the man. He was the only dude on the Browns defense that showed up against the Houston Texans. He made a bunch of plays in that game. I think that he's going to have even a better year this year than he had last year. And that's hard to say. I think the second year in this defense is going to unleash him. I think he's going to be more creative with JOK, and he's going to run sideline to sideline, making plays. When you got guys with that, for me, I like to have studs at every level. Right? I got Myles Garrett. I think JOK is that guy in the second level, and I got Denzel Ward in the third level. When you got 3 studs in every level, you can have a transcendent type defense, because now there's more than one ways you can lock guys down. You can lock guys down just basically by having the opportunity to play great coverage, and the Browns got 3 of the top 35 coverage guys in the league according to PFF. You got JOK, who is a guy that is going to run down sideline to sideline making plays. He's a terror to try to block in the open field when you're a guard. And obviously, Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. We don't even say nothing about what he brings to the table. So I think the Browns defense in the first few games, we talked about it, they'll need to help have the offenses back a little bit, but I think they'll be dynamic.
Yeah, and the defense last year, just kind of expanding on that, nothing short of incredible. I mean, 29.1% on third down. That is unreal. And then you look at it, only gave up 253 first downs last year, and that was 45 less than the second team in the NFL, and that was the New York Jets, which kind of surprised me when I read that. But looking at this defense, G, you played defensive tackle. The Browns have added a lot as far as on that defensive line, bringing back Zadarius Smith, Obo still there, but you bring in Quentin Jefferson, you bring in Mike Hall through the draft, you re-sign Shelby and Mo Hurst. What is that like on the defensive line to be able to have that ability to have a healthy and a fresh rotation of guys that you can trust and that you can count on? How big is that?
You got to have a guy. You got to have that rotation in there. You got to have it because you want to keep guys fresh to a certain extent, right? And you want guys to be able to get the best pass rush. You're not looking for guys to play 60 snaps. This is not high school or anything like that. You want to get guys ready to go, as I draft Christian Kirk. You
Good
want to get
pick.
guys.
Good pick.
By the way, I do apologize. You know, I'm in like 70, 75 of these fantasy leagues, right? And so it's crazy. You don't really never know when they are. They're like, oh, you have a draft today, and I'm like 7 of them. So I would blow them off, but it's one with like Albert Breer in them, so I can't kind of like blow Albert Breer off. As I'm on the clock again and filibuster.
Do you have the last pick? Did you get the snake?
No. What I need? Do I need a defense? Can I get a defense here? Can I get I'm taking them. Now I'm gonna ask you. This is live. Should I take the Browns, Jets, or 49ers defense?
Ooh. I would narrow it down to the Browns 49ers. I don't trust the Jets defense this year, personally.
Okay.
I think you can go either way. I would trust the Browns defense. I think
I'm gonna go with the Browns defense.
All right, here we go.
There it is. We're gonna draft the Browns defense. That's how you do it live. You do it live. We're gonna take the Browns defense, and hopefully they don't screw this up. But we were talking about what were we on?
We were talking about the defensive line, moving guys in, keeping them fresh,
rotating them in. Here's the thing. We don't know what's going on with Myles Jr. He's on the exempt list. That's you know how the exempt list go with the commissioner. You never know what that is. That hurt a little bit because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Myles Jr. has elite game. He has elite game up front. I mean, and it's exactly what the Browns want. They want guys to get upfield and pass rush, and but you know they're deep up front. Shelby Harris, Maurice Hurst, Quinn Jefferson, all veterans, get it done. When you look at Maurice Hurst, PFF rankings, top 10 defensive lineman in terms of pass rush grade for PFF. Dalvin Tomlinson will be back. He's more of a nose tackle or a nose. But see, they really wanted to get to a point where they could have had in that pass rush ability. You got Obo Ankaranko. You kick Zadarius Smith inside. You put Mike Hall Jr. and you got a Myles Garrett there. See, it's levels to it. You see how that looked? That's crazy when you got that. But we'll see what happens with that. But the great thing about the Cleveland Browns is I really think that the depth really helps them out. And I think Alex Wright is going to have a breakout year. I think this is a year where you see Alex Wright maybe get you 8 or 9 sacks, and if we can do that, I also think they'll increase JOK's blitzing package as well. He'll blitz a lot more. So defense is not where I'm worried about, right? With the Browns, the defense is not what I think is going to be something that's going to be a problem, and I think the defense should carry them throughout the first 4 games, and especially up front.
Yeah, absolutely. And last year, the one thing I said, me and Tristan run this podcast, my buddy Tristan, and unfortunately he couldn't make it today. He's in class. I tried to get him on, but
it's all good, man. Hey, go to class, man. Make sure that pay off, man. You got to go to class, man.
Oh, he's got it. He's smart. He's smarter than me. That's why I keep him on. But no, last year I was talking about with this defense, I was telling people, enjoy it. Enjoy it, because you don't really understand how good of a defense that we got here. And somehow the Browns managed to keep everybody back. I mean, everybody has come back, and you only added to it. So I'm pumped. I'm so excited for the defense. I agree with you. I think it's going to be our backbone this year, for sure. And, you know, when you have guys on the edge who can also move in and play inside, that is so valuable. But